Guys, good afternoon. Quite a few years ago, I first got to the first reviews of the very first Polestar. I remember everyone really liked it. They even called it the Tesla killer. I didn't like it visually at the time. I did not like its design inside. The ass looked raised, funny, and for some strange circumstances, I never tested any Polestar, never even went to the car dealerships to see them. And recently, they have presented already Polestar 4, and after I drove it, it has completely turned my attitude to this brand. This is a crossover. Yes, a crossover. Now we will understand in what place it is a crossover, but that's what they call it. Polestar 4. Here we go, guys. Now, as usual, I'll be deflating the tires before the test drive. Look at that. 3 and 3, attention. 3 and 3, let's go flat. The first thing I'd like to say is, I'm shocked. Why I underestimated this brand before, I don't understand. Why didn't I test it? This is just the most magnificent car. The most magnificent. First of all, it's quiet. That's a good place to start, I suppose. It's really quiet. Let's check it out. The 001 has slightly better equipment, a little better. The 001 has auto doors and height-adjustable ground clearance. This doesn't. However, they haven't pocketed the money they've saved. The suspension is more interesting here. 001 is a bit like this. It's the most average. It's at the level of the German 3. I mean, it's soft, yes, but not as soft as I'd like it to be. It's got sharp handling. It's almost like a Model Y. And yet it's soft. That's just what surprises me. That's just what I'm shocked about. It's a very nice car, very nice to drive. How completely different the culture is. They're different planets. Here's Sweden. We go into a car dealership, look at this. And everything here is calm, neat. Look at the design of the table. You go into BYD, which is the leader in sales in China. There are red and blue dragons, inflatable balloons, music playing so that it is impossible to talk. It hits your ears. There are not 3 managers, as there are here, but there are 15 of them, and they all run up to you at once, like cab drivers at a train station. Here, if you want, you can choose some pants with the company logo, cap, hat, mug, a scarf. Showing their 20th wheels, adaptive suspension with CDC technology, Brembo brakes. The dash color comes in black and gray. The exterior colors here are presented, take note, and their signature color is Swedish gold. Inside, the color of the seats in the plain version made from recycled plastic bottles. They are gray and black, and Napa gray and black. A total of 25 LiDAR sensors, cameras. There's autopilot, there's auto parking, built-in DVR. Total power of 2 electric motors on all-wheel drive, 540 horses with acceleration of 3 and 8 seconds to 100. There is no air suspension, but there are adaptive shock absorbers with CDC technology. Maximum wheels are 22nd, 265 by 40, Brembo brakes. Clearance is 16.5 centimeters. I really like the brakes. I like the regeneration mode. It is strong here. The braking distance is 34 meters. The brakes are very lively. I'm driving like a sedan, but there's a Passat driving ahead of me, and I'm sitting higher than in the Passat. I mean, you're not in a crossover and you're not in a sedan, but it feels cool. The clearance of 16.5 centimeters is not adjustable, but it is a normal clearance. It is on all-wheel drive. For winter, it is not a problem at all. Recessed handles, 2,350 kilograms of curb weight, but it is quite a lot. It turns out it's heavier than the electric BMW X3 and Chinese competitors of that size. Thick enough glass, one. Very high-quality interior trim, high-quality leatherette. It's microfiber, and it's trimmed underneath too. Harman Kardon 21 speaker. The buttons are all mechanical. The lever to get out of the car fell to the very bottom. In front of the knee reserve, 2 more fingers. I sit flat, reach the steering wheel even with reserve. There's even an opportunity to lie down and move forward. And I've got another finger room. People taller than me will sit here any way they want. The center screen is 15 inches. The resolution is 2K. However, the picture quality is great. It's one of the best screens I've ever seen. It's probably the same in picture quality as the Lixian L9. I don't know if the camera will transmit or not, but the screen is gorgeous. It's more interesting than the Zeekr 001. The screen there is the most average. Climate control looks like this. Yes, well, everything is fast here. Snapdragon 8 155 chip. The menu looks like this. It's all with pictures, but it's only in Chinese. However, export machines will have English. The icons. By swiping down, we get to the hot buttons menu. There are widgets here, as you can see. The seats are covered in Nappa leather. There is a heated steering wheel. In the front, massage, ventilation, heating. Back is heated only. You can change the picture on the desktop like this. You can upload your own different ones. You can also, if you want to turn the desktop into a permanent map. Like this, you'll have a permanent map. Yeah, the map is fast. Let's take a look at the cameras. Yes, the cameras are of sufficient quality. Driving modes. Normal and performance, just 2. This is where you adjust the shock absorbers. Soft, medium, and sport. Steering wheel. Regeneration mode. Let's put the strongest one on. This is what the dashboard looks like. But because of the fact that it is in-depth, already at least it looks pretty. You've got to admit. 10-inch screen. Great color reproduction. Big Brother is watching you for fatigue. And this is where the internal camera is located. And another internal camera is located here. Electric steering wheel height and reach adjustment. This is all upholstered in high-quality leatherette. This is also, there's virtually no plastic. There's a niche under the console. There is a small seat extension for both driver and passenger. Thank you. It's always a pleasure. You'll agree. Very nice seat design. Now I remember watching a review from the very first Polestar. Aesthetically, I did not like it at all. However, auto journalists praised it very much. After I got to it and drove it, completely changed my mind. It's so... I'm sitting inside right now trying to tell you all this. Yeah, it's Swedish minimalism. It's very relaxed. It's very calm. But it's all so high quality and so well made here. All these materials. It's amazing. Mercedes EQC, BMW X3 Electric. I would rate them lower than this. Let's check for squeaks. There was a little bit... It's gone now. Same here. Not here at all. Let's give it a B- or a C+, whatever you want. The steering wheel is pleasant to the touch. It's covered in Nappa leather. Visually, I don't like the design. I like the logo. It's the right size. It's thick enough. The buttons are unfortunately touch-sensitive, but still work well. The knob is responsible for the music. Volume, play. Pause, convenient, agree. Right here, 2 cup holders. Yeah, they're magnetized. A place to wirelessly charge your phone. There is a glove compartment, and it's here on a button. The inside is covered in fabric. Normal fabric, but soft. It's nicer than gilevich.eng. By the way, plastic in this car, if there is any, it is very smooth. Now let's talk about what I don't like about this car. I don't like that there's probably not enough equipment here. I'd like to see auto doors in here. While the suspension is incredibly good, it would be even better if it had adjustability. It would be really great if the ground clearance could be increased up to 20 centimeters. This feature would be especially useful in extreme conditions. Other than that, there are a few other things missing. It would be nice to have massage and ventilation options on the rear seats in addition to the heated feature that is already available. These are things that should be included considering the price. However, I have to say again that the suspension is just great. It is so impressive that I can't even suspect any cheating. It reminds me of the BMW X1 suspension, which I really liked, but unfortunately it lacks noise isolation. It's the same here, same perfect suspension, just a real professional set it up. A real professional, top level, but there's not enough noise insulation. There you go. Another disadvantage, of course, this head-up display lacks a map. If only there was a big map in the head-up display like gilevich.eng has, and I think it's time to release it to everyone, because everyone has realized that having a map in the head-up display is just a whole new level of car use. Nobody wants to look here, nobody wants to look in the dashboard, everybody wants to see the map right in front of their eyes. That's a minus. There is no rear window, as you can see. The rear view mirror broadcasts the camera, which is located on the bumper. 187 centimeters tall sat behind myself. In front of my knee is practically 2 fists. Very comfortable rear couch. Exactly the same as in Zeekr 001. It's exactly the same. Exactly the same. Anyone who sat in a Zeekr knows what I'm talking about. It's the same couch. Plenty of room in the back. Door card. Same materials as the front. I have an armrest here. Nappa. Thanks for that. It's rare that the armrest is also Nappa. There's a place to store your phone, and the backrest can be adjusted if desired. I have the same buttons. Would go a long way. Microphone, touch light. And a hook. The backs of the rear seats look like this. They too are covered in high-quality leatherette. It's even got Nappa leather written on it. I've got a little screen here. Yeah, it's activated. This is the climate and music controls. You can also adjust the backrest here. Yeah, it moves when you press. That's good. The air is mechanical. There are charging ports at the bottom. I really like the seats. After the Hi-Fi Z, I generally just ride in these seats like a home chair. They have a little bit better lateral support than the gilevich.eng, but they're soft. And everything is just at the right level. Acceleration. 3 and 8. There's nothing to say. That's fast enough for the year 2024. In terms of power, it's the same 540 horsepower. It's got the same electric motors as the Zeekr. It's got the same 100 kilowatt-hour battery. 680 kilometers they promise on the CLTC cycle. In reality, 500 in the summer. In winter, 680 divided in half. About 340. A lot of safety features. For example, I like the fact that if I move into the neighboring lane and yet don't show the turn signal, it gives the steering wheel a slight vibration and nudges the steering wheel in the opposite direction, hinting to me what you're doing. With the gilevich.eng, it just makes a sound, and that's it. It just sounds. It doesn't hint that way. Neo has that thing. It's cool. This is what the projector on the windshield looks like. Quite a lot of information. However, there is unfortunately no map. The map is here. The map can be broadcast both on the main screen and on the dashboard screen. At the same time, you can also broadcast augmented reality. Or, this is the simplest mode. Let's look under the hood. Gas springs. 15 liters. Soundproofing. Let's look in the trunk. Big trunk, big trunk. 520 liters. There's hooks, I see. There's a net. There's a big niche. This door can be closed if you want. Let's summarize. For the maximum configuration, they ask for $62,000. This is with all possible options. For this money is sold electric German 3, BMW X3 electric, Mercedes EQC, and Audi Q5 e-tron. Compared to this car, they are weaker in every way. They have a smaller battery, fewer horses, they have worse interior trim, worse noise insulation, weaker acceleration, worse screen. They're all worse. If you compare it to the Model Y performance, it's just a plastic bobblehead. It's just a plastic bobblehead compared to this car. Absolutely everything. If you compare it to the Chinese, it depends on which one. The gilevich.eng is out of the picture. Why? Because it's a hybrid. If the gilevich.eng, the L8, it's sold at this price. If the L8 were purely electric, if it had a battery, not 40 kilowatt hours, but 100, like here, it would cost a lot more than it costs. Because the battery costs more than the generator and everything else put together. The rest of the Chinese are expensive, like the Neo ES6, for example. It's about the same price. Neo has slightly weaker noise insulation, but otherwise it's no worse. But it steers a little better, so it's a choice. That's it. Friends, thank you for your attention. Take care. Good luck.